What is your name and what do you do?
Well, my name is Brad. My training is as a teacher, and I spent most of my life in middle school, I guess, as a teaching. And I've enjoyed that very much. I love exploring ideas with kids primarily, but I guess with anybody really who likes learning.
Do you do art? Do you practice art?
I suppose it would depend on how we're defining art. I think when I look at someone who's an artist and I think, wow, what they're doing looks like art, I'd turn around and look at something I would do and I would say, man, there's probably not much that I would do that anyone who actually does art would call what I'm doing art.
Would you consider teaching to be an art? Is there an art to teaching?
I would say there's an art to teaching. I think there's probably there's technique involved and there's technical understanding involved, but I think there's probably an art to it. One of the great things about exploring ideas, and maybe this is part of the art of it, is coming to a subject, approaching a great subject, which is something that probably has fascinated and beguiled human beings for as long as there have been human beings, and then saying, what does this great subject ask of us? How does it want us to explore? And there's some things that we can learn from the way human beings have explored this in the past. And someone who has experience with that, ideally like a teacher has some experience with that, kind of knows something about the terrain, how to explore the terrain, some of the pitfalls to avoid in exploring the terrain. And maybe that's where some of the technical know-how comes in. Some of the technical know-how also in how to structure. How are we going to structure our relationships together? How are we going to explore the space we need to learn together in? But also maybe the art is in knowing, you know what? It's also okay to explore this space without being afraid of what we're going to find. As a teacher, I don't know exactly everything we're going to discover because I want us to explore with wonder and curiosity, but I also want students to know they don't have to be afraid. And I think maybe that's where the art comes in, because an artist is probably open-hearted enough to say, I'm working towards something and I don't necessarily know exactly what that is all the time.
Do you do anything intentionally for yourself that you consider to be self-care?
I run. I like running. I think physical activity has become very important for me. I think actually being outside, giving myself time and space where I don't actually have to focus on the work itself, is actually a great way to let my brain sort of be off leash for a bit. I think that's where a lot of creative thinking happens for me when I'm not directing my brain to do stuff. And that's when maybe self-care for me, I guess, is often in that space where I'm doing something physically, like running.
So was there a time where you knew that it was something that was for you? Like, was it something told to you that you needed to do? Or did you come to it on your own?
I had to take the first step and be willing to trust that if I committed myself to just going out and doing it, the reward would come in time. Because it certainly didn't, and it doesn't always initially feel like something that feels good. Sometimes it's fun, but it has to be hard fun. Not everything's going to be rewarding right off the bat. Yeah.
There's a common thing. There's no growth in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
And there's no comfort in the growth zone.
Yeah.
So I think it's last question for you. On the topic of exploring, whether it's a subject in school or exploring yourself or exploring self-care, what's something, if you could go back in time, what's something that you would tell yourself, or what's something you would tell someone else who is ready to explore a conversation or a topic like self-care or anything, who's ready to explore?
Maybe two things. Something's better than nothing. I would say getting started, taking the first step can be the most difficult thing, but worth it. And if it doesn't seem right, it's okay to change directions. And then the second thing is the importance of community for me. I'm a sort of an introvert, or maybe an ambivert, I guess. And finding community, finding the right place to connect, because there are places to connect, and kind of like self-care and kind of like running. When I don't feel like carrying myself, finding a community of people who kind of carry me along when I don't feel like going where I need to be, that makes a huge difference too. So maybe art's the same way. Having a community of artists that can carry an artist when the artist doesn't necessarily know where they're going, I can imagine that's hugely important too.
Amazing. You taught me a new word today,
Ambivert? Yeah, somewhere in between introvert and extrovert.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me.
Okay.